Hello everyone, Sven Nielsen from a Golf Performance Academy here at Trump Dubai, and today we're talking about the first movement in the backswing and what works. So what we're specifically looking at is how the bottom hand works. In my case, the right hand, so the bottom part of my grip. Now, a lot of people actually can't make that first movement because of the way the grip is. Now, when we look at the bottom hand, a lot of people interlock or overlap too far. Now, when I say too far, is that the right hand, or my hand in a right-handed golfer, goes too far tilted around. So what happens is the wrist locks, so you cannot actually physically do that first movement in the swing. So what we'll look at now is how the grip sits in the fingers and how that first movement works. So once you've got your top hand in place, in my case it's the left hand, we're going to look at the bottom hand. Now, what I see a lot is a lot of people do this next part, either the interlock or overlap. What they do is they make the bottom hand go in way too far. So what happens is you can see the grip is now in the top of my palm. So what ends up happening is that the fingers go right over the thumb, and what happens now is we lock that wrist. So what happens is now that wrist being locked, I cannot actually activate that at the start of my swing. So what we got to look at is when you do the overlap or interlock, make sure it's in the fingers first, those three fingers, so from the ring finger to the index finger. Then from there, you're doing the interlock overlap. But as you'll see, it's not all the way in to the right hand or bottom hand, because what happens is it goes into the palm. So straight away, that's going to put your right hand or bottom hand in the wrong place. So in the fingers first, the palm is completely free to then slot over the top of the top thumb. And that's now in a position for that bottom hand to work in the correct motion at the start of the swing. Part two, once we get into a solid position at the start of the setup, we're going to now look at how that bottom hand works in that fashion. So what's happening is the bottom hand is working that way. That's the movement we want to try and feel at the start of our swing. That controls our club face, but also will lead to a much better top of the swing and more power in the downswing. So it's a great position to try and work on for the start of your swing. Okay, so once that right or bottom hand is in place, the bottom hand can now work correctly at the start of the swing. So let's give it a go. Give that a go and see if that works for your game. But if not, come and see one of the professionals at the Golf Performance Academy at Trump and we'll help you out with your game.